Hey guys, welcome back to After Credit Movie Chats. My name is Dean Thomas. Welcome to a special edition. I'm going to break down my 10 most anticipated movies for the remainder of the year. We just made it through the summer season full of great blockbusters and action movies, but now we move into what is known as Oscar season, where we get the much more story-driven, and the movies the studios believe will get Oscar buzz. So let's start with number 10. My number 10 one, which you probably heard on my other list for my most anticipated for September, Sicario, starring Emily Blunt, Josh Brolin, and Benicio del Toro. Emily Blunt continues her streak of getting strong female-driven characters, and there's no exception to this one. This movie is based on Emily Blunt, who's an FBI agent, gets pulled into the war on drugs and gets a whole lot more than what she signed up for. The main reason I'm excited for this movie, though, is probably the fact that it's being directed by Denis Villeneuve, who directed movies like Enemy, which I'm a big fan of, but he also directed Prisoners, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman, and that is one of my favorite movies to come out in recent years. So anything he's doing right now, I'm looking forward to, and the fact that he's doing Sicario means I'm in. Up next at number 9, Everest, also made my most anticipated for September. Everest follows the true-life events of two expedition teams that attempted to scale Mount Everest, and things didn't quite go their way. The movie stars Josh Brolin once again, Jason Clarke, who you may know from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and also my favorite actor right now, Jake Gyllenhaal. So definitely look out for Everest. And at number 8 is Legend, coming out in October. Legend follows the Kray brothers, two infamous gangsters in the 1960s in London, where Tom Hardy plays both of the twins, both the Kray twins. And he looks like he brings something spectacular to it. Tom Hardy crushes every role he's been in of late, and this looks like no exception. He's going to be playing both the Kray brothers, and it looks like he brings two completely different styles to them. He's actually made both these characters completely unique. It's not just, oh, I'm playing twins, I'll play them both the exact same way. No, they look like they're both very fleshed out characters, both on their own. So definitely look for Legend in October. And coming out that same day of October 7th is Ridley Scott's The Martian, starring Matt Damon and Jessica Chastain, almost like Interstellar Part 2. Ridley Scott's had some rough bumps here late with Prometheus and other things like Exodus, Gods and Kings. There's no denying that his films are visually striking, but story's been a little bit lacking. That's why I'm excited for The Martian, is because it's based on a book, so the story's already been provided for him. So it's not like his writing or something is going to affect it, and Matt Damon looks like he's bringing it always. The trailers have given away a little bit too much, although I've heard some people that have read the book say that it hasn't. So I'm not really sure what to think, but either way, I'm looking forward to it. And I definitely check out the second trailer. The second trailer does not give away as much, unless you want to go in blind, and I would avoid the trailers then. At number 6 is a movie that I've been looking forward to a very long time, Bridge of Spies. Tom Hanks, directed by Steven Spielberg. That should have you in right away. It follows the true life story once again of Tom Hanks, who's a lawyer who has to negotiate for a Soviet Union spy that the U.S. has caught, and to negotiate for the U-2 spy United States that was shot down. And then it's a whole thing of the Civil War, and the trailer should grab you right away, but Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg up once again, I'd be looking forward to it. Number 5, Spectre, the follow-up to the 2012 Skyfall, another installment in the James Bond franchise. Daniel Craig continues to be my favorite Bond so far, and he looks like he's crushing it. This movie looks like it's got action, and it's getting really back into apparently the origin of James Bond. And then you add Christoph Waltz as the villain, and you got something pretty special. Dave Bautista, who you may know from Guardians of the Galaxy as Drax, goes back to that basic Bond henchman that Bond will have to go up against, the physical force. I'd check out the second trailer for this thing because it is incredible and looks like another great Bond movie. Number 4, Pixar's second movie this year, The Good Dinosaur. This movie had all sorts of problems in pre-production where they had actually even begun the movie and had to completely scrap it all because they didn't like where it was going. But it looks like what they ended up with is something special. The animation, they continue to just revolutionize it in that. And the story follows a dinosaur as though the meteor didn't hit, so the dinosaurs are all alive. And then suddenly humans and dinosaurs are cohabitating. Although it's a little bit of a role reversal, as the child in this is kind of like the dog. It's kind of like a boy and his dog story, where the dinosaur is the boy and the human is the dog. The first trailer looks like a great story of friendship and kind of pulls at your heartstrings a lot. So I'm definitely looking forward to anything Pixar does. So I check out The Good Dinosaur around Thanksgiving. Number 3. Star Wars The Force Awakens. The anticipation for this movie is just through the roof. All the shows I watch, people are just going crazy for it. That first trailer brought people to tears. And I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I respect what they do and I like the movies, but this has even got me excited, especially because I'm just looking forward to the reactions of the people, because I have a lot of faith in director J.J. Abrams to really pull off something special here. And you've got the original cast all returning, so it looks like we're in for a fun ride with Star Wars. Number 2. Number 1 and 2 is go a couple of different ways, because they both are technically 2015 releases, but most of us probably won't see them until 2016 because they're limited release on Christmas. And number 2 and number 1 would be The Revenant and The Hateful Eight. Let's start with The Revenant. I've been saying it from the beginning. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is winning his Oscar for this movie, and that first trailer didn't do much to deter that. There's no dialogue, but at the same time, you get the point and you have the stakes up there. Tom Hardy's also in that, so there's a great cast in itself. And it's being directed by Alejandro Inarritu, who just won the Oscar for Best Picture in Birdman. And they only use natural light. So once again, he's going innovative, and this movie is going to be visually striking. And not to mention with DiCaprio and his grizzled look, I can't wait for this revenge story. And then number 1, The Hateful Eight. Quentin Tarantino has yet to really disappoint me in any movie. His wide dialogue is great, the over-the-top action, his great characters, and The Hateful Eight looks like no different. It's about 8 people who get stuck in a cabin out in Wyoming, I believe, in the middle of winter, and they're stranded there, and they all have to interact. People who are bounty hunters along with normal citizens, and it looks like it's going to be a great story. Not to mention, Quentin Tarantino's came out and said that he's used the same lenses to capture the wide-ranging landscapes out in Wyoming as they did on Ben-Hur. And I don't mean the similar lenses, the actual lenses that they used to film Ben-Hur. So it looks like this is going to be a magnificent filmmaking achievement, both in itself, and I'm sure it's just going to be a whole lot of fun. Well, there you have it, guys. There's my 10 most anticipated movies for the rest of the year. Now, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but I didn't order those in necessarily the sense of what I'm looking forward to most, but I simply went by release dates. But jump in the comments, let me know what you think is your most anticipated. Do you agree with my list? Is there some that I left off? Because there are a lot of good movies coming out, and I'm sure there's plenty that I didn't quite get onto the list. But there's my list. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to check us out on aftercreditmoviechats.wordpress.com, our website. Follow us on Twitter at ACMovieChats, and check on over to Redbubble and search After Credit Movie Chats to get your gear. Thanks for watching, and make sure you let me know what you think of my list. Thanks.